Hi everybody, Dave here, podcast of a normal guy. Today we're going to talk NFL and just NFL. Lots going on that I want to talk about, but the seeding and stuff is in for the NFL, so let's get into some of that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can check me out on Facebook. I have a Facebook page for this channel. I'll put everything in the description so you can check it out. So let's talk about the AFC first. So the seeding goes as follows. The first seed is the Broncos, followed by number 2, the Patriots, 3, Jags, 4 is the Steelers, which breaks my heart because I can't stand them. Well, no, that's not true. I just can't stand Aaron Rodgers. Texans are the 5th seed. The Bills are 6th, and sneaking in at 7 is the Chargers. AFC, I'll switch back to the AFC in a sec, but the NFC seeding is the Seahawks are number 1. The Bears are number 2, probably the most unlikely number 2 seed ever, because they sure don't look great right now, but we'll get into that later. I love the Bears, but yeah. You got the 3 seeds, the Eagles, 4 is the Panthers, 5 Rams, 6 is the 49ers, and the last seed is, unfortunately, Packers, and we'll talk more about that after as well. So here's my predictions for the AFC. There's a couple of surprises in here, but not too many. I don't know. I went on a limb a couple times, but we'll see how it shakes out. And definitely, please leave some comments. I'm sure there's going to be lots of opinions, and hopefully people can root with their brain, not their heart. Because if I was going to just root with my heart, I tell you right now, the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl. But any team that makes it to the playoffs can, right? All right, so in the first round, the wild card round, you're going to have the 5 seed in AFC, 5 seed playing the 4 seeds. So you got the Texans versus the Steelers. You have the 6 seed versus the 3 seed, so Bills, Jags. And then you got the 7 seed versus the 2 seed, Chargers, Pats, right? So in those games, I have I got the Steelers beating the Texans. I think it's going to be a good game. Any of the close seeds, right? Like you got the 4 seed, 5 seed, whatever. Those are the good games, in my opinion, anyway. So I think that the Steelers are going to win that one. And then you got the Bills, Jags, and I think the Bills are going to beat the Jaguars, even though the Jaguars are the 3 seed. I still think I still feel like the Bills they're not going to be a first round exit. I just don't feel it. I don't see it, even though they got to play in Jacksonville. And then coming up, the last game, the Jags and the Patriots. I think the Patriots are going to win that. Normally, I would say a team that doesn't have a ton of playoff experience, which I could be all wrong about that. I got to be honest with you. I'm not super familiar with this version of the Patriots, but I have a feeling, though, they don't have a lot of players on there that have a lot of playoff experience. Could be wrong about that. If that's the case, normally I would say they would lose, but I don't know. I just find the turnaround. I mean, they've been so well coached. I don't know. I got them winning. I got them beating the Chargers. So because of the seeding, you got the number 1, second round. So now the divisional round of the AFC. You're going to have the Broncos versus the 4 seed Steelers. Pardon me, if my model is correct here. And then you're going to have the 6 seed Bills visiting the Patriots, which would be an outstanding game. Oh, so who wins these ones? Well, again, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Bills are going to give hope and still disappoint their fans this year, but they're going to beat the Patriots. I really do. Now, the Bills, on the other hand, even though it hasn't been all positive, they have a ton of playoff experience recently. Every year they made the playoffs, right? It hasn't gone the way Bills fans want, but they've made the playoffs. And I don't think there's any way, even going into New England, I don't think there's any way that the Bills lose that game. So I say the Bills are going to win. And then the Broncos-Steelers game, I think the road ends here for the Steelers. I think the Broncos will beat them. The Broncos have a great defense. I mean, they're built for the playoffs, man. This is a good team. So I have in the AFC Championship game, I have the Broncos versus the Bills, and then that's where the road ends for the Bills. I fully believe that the Broncos are good enough to make it back to the Super Bowl, and I think they're going to do it. So that's your AFC side. So quickly, let me run through the seeding again for the NFC. So number 1 was the Seahawks, 2 was the Bears, 3 is the Eagles, 4 is the Panthers, 5 is the Rams, 6 is the 49ers, my cousin Ryan's favorite team. And then you have the Packers, who should be nobody's favorite team. So here we go. So let's see the games that we're going to have in that arena there. In the NFC, I should say. So you got the 5 seed Rams versus the 4 seed Panthers, and nobody's really been talking about the Panthers, but I think that's going to be a really good game. And I think that the Rams are going to win. I think the Rams are going to beat them. Number 6 seed San Fran versus the 3 seed Eagles. I think the San Fran's out in the first round. They're so banged up, and they've just been. I mean, I know they scored. I mean, they're capable of scoring a lot of points, and I just think they're going to have a hodgepodge, like dilapidated team to put on the field in the first round of the playoffs. And it's unfortunate because they're a good team, but I think they're out. They're going to be gone. So the Eagles are going to move on, and then you got the Packers and the Bears. And here's where going with your brain instead of your heart goes. I love the Bears, but they have no playoff pedigree. They've been very shaky. Their offense has done nothing. The coach put them on blast in a nice way, I guess. And their defense just hasn't been playing well enough. I mean, they should have beat San Francisco, but they kept letting them in the game. And then they couldn't hold Detroit in the last game. The Bears, they came all the way back. That's awesome. You watch them come all the way back several times this year, but you got to close the games out. And they got an interception. I'm only saying a lot about it because I watched it, right? But they got a pick in the late fourth quarter, and they did not play complimentary football, and they scored no points. And then Detroit got the ball back with enough time and 2 timeouts to score a field goal to win the game. Unacceptable, absolutely unacceptable. But that's how they've been playing heading into the playoffs, and that does not bode well, even though they're the 2 seed, unlikely 2 seed. They played great earlier in the season, but now they've sort of lost their way a bit. We'll see if they can get their mojo back, but anyways, long story longer, I got the Bears losing. I love the Bears, but they're going to lose. They'll be out in the first round, a 2 seed out. All right, we had a camera malfunction there, but I'm back. Decided to turn itself off, but anyways, I'm back. I was just saying that the Packers are going to move on. So the second round, divisional round of the NFC is going to look like the 5 seed Rams versus the number 1 seed Seahawks, and Seahawks win that one. It's going to be a good game, I think, if it happens. But the Seahawks are going to win. And then you got Packers-Eagles, and I think the Eagles I think they're going to win that one if that happens, right? So in the NFC Championship game, you're going to have the Seahawks versus the Eagles, and the Seahawks are so good this year, so stupid good. They're going to the Super Bowl. So you're going to have the Broncos versus the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. And I honestly don't know who would win that. They're very evenly matched. And I personally, if I'm sitting here right now, I want the Broncos to win, but I think the Seahawks would win that if it comes down to that matchup. So anyways, that's all I got for you today. Short one, broken up there. I'll have to edit that. My camera died on me. But tell me what you think. Who's your favorite team? Who's going to move on? Who's going to make it? Who's going to get left behind? I want the Bears to win, but I don't think they're going to. But let's see. Let's see what happens. So Dave here, Podcast of a Normal Guy. Check me out on Facebook. Like and subscribe. You can watch these. Of course, you're watching it now probably or listening, but it's on most of the big platforms. And I'll hit you up next time. There's a lot of serious things going on in the world right now, but I'm giving people a break because I'm just watching in awe. But anyways, have a great day. Watch the NFL playoffs. We'll see you later.